Hi there, and welcome. My name is Leanne Sherrod, a speech-language pathologist and the President and Chief Clinical Officer here at Expressable. I'm so excited and incredibly honored to begin working with you and your family. We all want what's best for our little ones, and my goal throughout this course is to help you set your child up for success as they begin their communication journey. Building a language-rich environment for your kiddo and promoting speech and language development throughout their daily life is essential for your child's growth and well-being. And best of all, it can be simple. It doesn't require any fancy tools or materials or big purchases. You already have everything you need. You. It's simply a matter of knowing where to begin and what techniques to use. Let's face it, there's nothing more exciting for a new parent than seeing their child express their needs with ease, or saying those memorable first words. It's this passion for helping children experience the gift of communication that led me to become a speech-language pathologist. It's what I've dedicated my life to and why I started Expressable Speech Therapy. Myself, along with our incredibly passionate and talented team of speech-language pathologists, have had the privilege of working with thousands of parents, caregivers, and children to help them reach those exciting communication milestones. My goal is to take and share all these learnings, all these experiences, and all these best practices to help you support your child's early language growth so they develop into a confident and effective communicator.
That is a doggy. Ruff, ruff, ruff.
Doggy.
Our doggy. Oh, hi, Bear.
Hello.
Hi, Bear.
Wow.
Rawr.
So why did we go about creating this course? It's pretty simple. Communication is one of life's most foundational skills. It's how we express our thoughts, feelings, and ideas, and how we understand others and the world around us. Strong speech and language skills are essential for academic success and contribute to the emotional and social well-being of your child. This is a big responsibility, and no matter what type of parent or caregiver you are, new, seasoned, unexpected, foster, or anything in between, you probably have a million questions swirling around your mind. Throughout my years of clinical practice, the number one thing I hear from parents is that they wish they would have started maximizing their child's language learning opportunities earlier. That's because language development starts from the very moment your baby is born. Your little one immediately starts taking in and absorbing everything in their environment. Sight, sound, touch, taste, smell, it's a whole new sensory world. And it's during these crucial years that early language development happens, long before your baby has even said their first words. The earlier you can begin setting a strong foundation for language, the better positioned your child will be. And if you're concerned your child is a late talker or hasn't started using either verbal or nonverbal communication, like pointing and gesturing to express their needs, you're bound to hear phrases like this. They're just a late bloomer. I'm sure they'll catch up eventually. They'll grow out of it. We'll just wait and see what happens. Sure, it's true that every child is different and every child develops on their own timeline. While about 70 to 80% of children who are considered late bloomers will eventually catch up to their peers once they enter school, what about the others that don't? Research has shown that many will go on to experience difficulties with language and literacy issues in school, which can negatively impact their academic progress and achievement. The National Early Literacy Panel conducted one of the most comprehensive studies ever on the connection between early language abilities and literacy skills like reading and writing. They found that a child's ability to produce and understand verbal language was one of the earliest predictors of literacy success. To better understand this, let's take the word log as an example. Sounds simple to you and me, right? Well, it's actually made up of 3 distinct sounds. L, A, G. As children become more familiar with these sounds, they begin to map them onto printed letters, which helps with their emerging reading and writing skills. Without being able to differentiate and understand the various sounds that make up words, what we in the speech therapy community call phonological awareness, children can continue to struggle with reading that may persist throughout childhood and even adulthood, Another reason early language skills are so important is because there's a strong correlation between language development and temper tantrums. Or said another way, those unwanted behaviors that are often related to the frustration children feel when they don't yet have the skills to communicate their needs or emotional experiences. All little ones have their challenging moments, sure, and these challenging moments are a completely normal part of childhood. After all, young toddlers are actively developing the ability to manage their emotions in a socially appropriate way. Whether your child is experiencing feelings of anger or disappointment, or they're simply just hungry or tired, these emotions can build up and result in an outburst.
Bubbles. Okay, Bubbles. Wow. Can you say Bubbles?
However, a delay in their language abilities could be playing a bigger role than you think. When children are unable to express why they're upset, they often resort to crying or other seemingly challenging behaviors. Not knowing how to communicate wants and needs would make anyone upset, myself included. This is just a small sampling of research that demonstrates why early language learning is so vitally important. And believe me, there's a lot more. But I can promise you this. The healthy communication habits you build now and the time and energy you invest in working with your child to promote their language skills will last them a lifetime. Our mission is to give you everything you need to do just that. So let's discuss more specifically what we'll be covering throughout this course. First and foremost, we'll cover some important concepts and terminology you'll hear repeatedly throughout this course. For example, what's the difference between speech and language? How is expressive language different from receptive language? Then we'll start with the basics. What are those core foundational support tips you need to build healthy communication habits at home? Next, we'll discuss important communication milestones typical from birth to 18 months. We'll walk through expected developmental milestones and what to look for to ensure your child is on track. From there, we'll move into evidence-based strategies you can begin implementing at home with your child today to grow their language skills. From gesturing to imitation to labeling, reading, and so much more, we'll help you help your child move up that language ladder. And finally, we'll help you understand when speech therapy or professional intervention may be necessary, what it involves, and how to get started. As we move through our lessons, there's one recurring theme you'll hear over and over again. Children learn best in the environment they're most safe and comfortable. Their homes, from the people they spend the most time with, communicate with, and love the most. You. That's why the quality time you spend playing and interacting with your child is so essential, and how you can make the difference in your little one's language growth and development. Now, before you say, I'm so busy, where will I find the time? Hang on one sec. From working to child rearing to household errands and living our day-to-day lives, tuning into that must-watch Netflix episode, or even just having a few minutes to ourselves, I totally understand. It's hard to find the time for just about anything, but don't worry. The tips and techniques I'll be teaching don't require hours and hours of daily practice. It requires making small but purposeful changes to how you already interact with your child. Common everyday moments and routines throughout your day, from playing with them to brushing their teeth to getting ready for bed, are all language learning opportunities. I'm so excited to begin this communication journey together. You've taken one of the most important steps towards supporting your child's most essential skills, a gift that they'll cherish and benefit from for the rest of their lives. So let's get started.